The following content has been provided by RWTH Aachen University.
That was just a 10-minute excerpt. You'll find a full recording of Bill's excellent presentation on drawing, so I encourage you to take a look at that. And I think we'll have the link in the show notes. I think we can do that. Because this was really a wonderful chance of seeing his drawing skills at work, and he's an amazing sketcher. So the point behind this is what I'm trying to teach you here is more a communication skill, really, than a drawing skill. Right? This drawing is important, the sketching, I'd rather like to call it, to do quickly and basically almost develop a visual language. It's like a set of codes you can draw. Bill actually has some extra stuff in there that I encourage you to take a look at. For example, drawing simple things like a light bulb to depict where an idea comes from. Right? So if you want to draw your first light bulb, you probably struggle with it, but after a while you figure out, well, I really only need to do this blob, then I need to do a little bit of a shaft, and I need to do a couple lines like that indicate the windings, and then I need a tip. And then to make clear these are windings, you can make some lines in there. And here's my light bulb design. And then what, of course, goes in there is your little string in the middle. And then, of course, it lights up or it doesn't, right? So there's your light bulb. And there's going to be more things about that in Bill's presentation that you should take a look at. This is a language for an idea, right? Or a language for something that breaks, something that's wrong would be a little piece of wood that sort of has these broken edges, right? That's something that didn't work out, right? That's a mistake. Or you can have a language for example, drawing books, documents, always a struggle, right? We all can do the standard sort of dog-ear document, although I always kind of forget to fold in the little edge here, but that's your document, right? You know that as an icon from your computer. But if you are supposed to draw a book, for example, for like a user manual, that's a little more challenging, right? You need like two sides of this, looks more like that, and then you need to put some pages behind it so that it's clear that it's not just this one. So you need to like maybe add something like that to it, and have a picture of a document like this. So drawing books, these kinds of they're pieces of a language, right, that you can develop quickly, and then you can start sketching things. You can say, oh, in general, another way to depict like an idea that hit you like would be like to draw a cloud like this, and then have a flash come down like that was where we had this magic idea that really solved our problem. So you can draw something like a cloud. Going to do this up here again so you guys can see it with a flash coming down. It's like a flash coming down on that weird spiky hand there. So these are parts of a vocabulary. And you probably have about at least a dozen of these different shapes down. You saw the profiles that he was drawing, which are also really important to be able to draw quickly, right? Just have a way of drawing a person which can then be happy, or this guy is not so happy. He's not really happy at all. To have these things makes it easy to depict ideas quickly, graphically, while you're sketching. So we'll point you to the full video there that has more stuff on this, and there's also stuff on perspective when you get into like 3D drawing, because that becomes important once you're supposed to put these people into a scene, right? Once you're supposed to put them at a street corner or something, you quickly need to think about very simple perspective drawing skills. None of these require a fine arts degree, right? These are not hard to do. They're easy to learn. Apart from the book from Bill, there's also great books that actually have, apart from the video from Bill, there's also great books that actually basically, I think it's called like Sketching on a Napkin or something, that have these icons, these vocabulary pieces laid out for you. So a couple of references that I wanted to give you. The full version of Bill's talk is at this URL actually, right? So you can go to hci.rwh-aachen.de/verplank, and that's where we actually provided builds talk to you. So you will find more examples of especially Starman in Brenda Laurel's book, The Art of Human-Computer Interface Design. This is an old book that is an edited volume that has some very great, really good articles in it on HCI. But it also has these drawings throughout the book. And it shows Starman and friends sort of in all kinds of uses. You can take a look at that at the CS library, I think, or in our library if you'd like to. And then if you are really into learning to draw for real, not just these sort of communication sketching skills, I encourage you to take a look at a sketching class, for example. Betty Edwards, the new drawing on the right side of the brain, is one of the probably most famous drawing courses in a book that is worth taking a look at. Then you will be making storyboards as part of your project assignments. And it's very tempting to go digital, right? It's very tempting to sketch your things with a computer. But first of all, for that, you need a pretty good graphical input device, like maybe an iPad Pro with a pencil or some kind of tablet, a Wacom tablet or something like that. And I know pencils are hard to get, right? We have one, but we aren't even able to buy a second one. So that might not be a good option. But even if you have the technology to sketch on a digitizer, I encourage you to try paper first, because when we do it on a computer, it quickly becomes a little too clean. It becomes a little too sort of mechanic, and it loses that sketching quality. And the sketching quality, we'll get to this more later, but the quality, the fact that this looks like a sketch is actually important. The fact that it doesn't look like an awesome amount of work went into it is important, because when you do a quick sketch and it looks like a quick sketch and you show it to a user, they will be won't have any issues telling you whether it was good or bad, whether it's a bad idea. But if it looks like a picture it took you hours to draw, they will already feel like, oh, so much work went into this, I'm not going to criticize it. So sketching looks rough, looks quick, and that's for a good reason, because that actually is what you want to reach. So the other thing about digital things, so the storyboard.com lets you actually make digital storyboards, complete like with little language bubbles and all that kind of stuff. But it probably won't work in a meeting, right? In a meeting, you want to be able to just do this on a piece of paper. In all, I hope this sort of was this like free built-in drawing class into this Designing Interactive Systems class here. Practice that. Use it in your storyboards. Use it in your documentation. Use it in your project notes. Use it when you do stuff. Draw it on paper, scan it in, or take a picture with your smartphone and put it online as part of your documentation later. It'll help you document your process and practice those sketching skills. I encourage you, buy an A3 block of white paper, buy some thick black nice marker pens, and draw and use a lot of space. Don't doodle in a tiny area. With that, I'd like to wrap up for today. I hope you had fun, and I'm going to see you all one more time. Is that right? No, it's Christmas. All right. So get that book by Bill Moggridge. That's a wonderful coffee table book. Have your parents give that to you as a present, with wonderful stories in there. What's it called again? Interaction Design or something? I think so. Bill Moggridge, Interaction Design. Wonderful Christmas present. And apart from that, get some maybe drawing equipment to sketch. And I'll see you again in 2016. Have a great vacation.
This content was provided by RWTH Aachen University.